Hello, hello. Welcome to another podcast. This time, I'm excited to announce that it's no longer me and TV. It is TV with Lisa. 2 E's all around. That's Teevee with Lisa. Leesa. And Lua suggested that I kind of write a rap to go along with it. T to the E. E. See, I can't even get it out. I cannot rap it out, but I would have loved to. And Lua, if you want to, you can go ahead and do that for me. That would be great. Once you just send me a little clip, maybe I'll put you into my intro. So G from New York City suggested just the letters TV because it's harder to search. Teevee. Podcast would not pop up, and so some people might miss out, and she might be right. So it might change, but right now this is what I'm going with. And she probably knows better because, she is from New York City, so they probably know better when it comes to these things. So I'm excited to finally have a name. And also I am on iTunes. So of course you have to search the Teevee with Lisa to find the podcast. And if you just type in TV or my name, Leesa, it will pop up. There's not too many Lisas out there, but there are other Lisas with 2 E's, but you'll see my icon for the podcast. So if you want to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. If you don't have, if you're not podcast savvy or you don't have a podcatcher, you can go on to podbean.com, and I am on podbean.com. I'm also going to keep posting my YouTube quote videos. They're not really videos, but I'm going to still post them on YouTube. I also have a page on Facebook, TV with Lisa, and they'll be posted there just with the normal player that you can play them on Facebook. So if you haven't liked my Facebook page, if you could just go on there and like just my page, TV with Lisa. I'll just be posting show stuff and things that I like and things to look for. And share my page even if you don't listen to the podcast regularly or plan on to, if you could share it, just kind of spread me around. That's no comment there, but go ahead and share my page for me. I greatly appreciate it. Another big piece of news is I got my new equipment this week. So in the middle of the production of this, I got my new equipment. So in between segments, you might hear a little difference in tone or voice or volume even. So I apologize for that. I'm still learning how to use all this stuff. And I do have someone planning on giving me some advice and helping me with all the technical stuff. So I appreciate that, and I hope to learn some more so everything sounds a little bit smoother for everybody out there. So that's the big news. Again, TV with Lisa. Also, I'm on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter. I don't have but maybe 8 followers right now, so I would, and most of the followers are like spam. I don't even know what they are. Half of them, get 2,000 followers or I don't know. I got a porn spam the other day. No, thank you. But so really I maybe only have 3 followers. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter at TV with Lisa. And remember, those 2 E's make all the difference. Well, summer's coming up, and I'm sure some of you are going to be bored sitting around trying to figure out what to watch on TV like I usually do. And yes, I do have my summer favorites. When those series come up in the summer, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to get into that now. So I thought I'd be a little bit helpful and give you some suggestions. A lot of people have asked for suggestions rather than me just talking about Schitt's Creek, which I'm still going to talk about Schitt's Creek. I mean, I have to talk about Schitt's Creek. But I have what I call some 30-minute quickies. And these are shows that are 30 minutes long. And in some cases, they're less than 30 if they were on a network show. But they're pretty easy to watch because they're only 30 minutes. When I look through my list, I see that they are only 3 seasons or less. So 1, 2, or 3 seasons of 30 minutes. I think that you can do it if you are bored, want something to do, if there's a thunderstorm or a tornado warning and you have your tablet, why not watch TV? So the first 2 that I'm going to suggest were both canceled. And I know that kind of seems odd for me to suggest some canceled shows, but I think it's not fair that shows were canceled to say that they must have not been good, because first of all, the show Freaks and Geeks is a prime example. No, I did not watch Freaks and Geeks when it was on, but I certainly have heard the outrage when it was canceled. And probably the number 1 show that I think is probably in the top shows of all shows is Arrested Development. How it got canceled, I don't know. I really think that was too smart. And so they didn't have a large following, but they were loyal followers. Anyway, so these two shows that I'm going to suggest, the one was an HBO show, and it was 3 seasons long, and you can now watch it if you have Amazon Prime. And it's called Bored to Death. And I really was just searching around shows to watch, and I saw that Zach Galifianakis was starring in it, and I've already expressed my love of Zach Galifianakis. And so I started watching it. It's pretty good. I think it has some really funny points to it. Unfortunately, I didn't care for Zach Galifianakis's, if that's how you say it. I didn't care for his character much. It was just kind of an odd, forced character to me, and I really do love him a lot. But it does star Jason Schwartzman. Gosh, there's another name. Jason Schwartzman. That's hard to say. And I know probably a lot of you are fans of him. I like him too. It seems like things that I find that I like, he seems to be in those. So I don't know if that he'll actually be in another one of my suggestions. All right. Here comes Chai. You here to say hi, Chai? You are? Oh. So Jason Schwartzman is kind of obsessed with dark fiction writing, and he's obsessed with becoming like a 1920s detective. And so he goes ahead and he starts his own detective company, kind of, and he gets called on these weird, crazy cases, and his friends kind of interplay with that and tag along and just kind of insert themselves into his life. The comedy is great, and I will say, although I was really disappointed in Zach Galifianakis's character, there was one character played by an actor that I was really, really surprised with, and it is Ted Danson. And if you got to stretch your brains back to Ted Danson days, he was in Cheers, played Sam Malone behind the counter. Now, how can I remember all the cast members from Cheers, but I can't remember what I'm watching now? But he also was one of the 3 men in 3 Men and a Baby, but plays an older character in the show, and he does a great job. It's really worth the watch for him. And I can kind of see why the show got canceled. The episodes aren't all great, but the episodes that are good, they're really good. So it is worth a watch. That is, again, Bored to Death on Amazon Prime right now. Another canceled one that I think was another genius show that got canceled. It was on Stars, and I watched it when it first came out, and I only had Stars because we had just gotten cable or something like that, and you get it premium channels free for so many days. And it stars Adam Scott, who was on Parks and Rec, and the name of the show is called Party Down. Hysterical show. It is so dry, and these characters are so flawed, but you just can't not watch. Basically, they're caterers. It's a catering company, and they're all wannabe actors. And so, of course, some of the stuff is like stereotypical acting waiters want to become actors kind of thing, but it is so funny. So Party Down was canceled. I think it was two seasons. It was canceled after 2 seasons, and it started in 2009. So this was pre-Glee, and Jane Lynch was on Party Down, and I'm telling you, her lines and her acting what just entirely made the show. It's like you can't believe these things are coming out of her mouth. And she played it so straight that I could not wait until her character had those scenes. So Jane Lynch, and of course I love Adam Scott. That's where I first met Adam Scott, quote, met Adam Scott on Party Down. And I just liked it from the start. So you should check out Party Down. Now, it's a little bit tougher to watch Party Down. It is not on Amazon Prime, but it's on that add-on on Starz. If you want to pay for an add-on on Starz, but really, who watches Starz? Who watches shows on Starz? So I know this sounds kind of pathetic, and it might sound like I shouldn't get this, but the first season is $4.99. And then the second season is around $5. So really, you can't beat that entertainment. So Party Down, if I had to recommend one of those, Bored to Death or Party Down, worth the money to pay for Party Down. So definitely check out those canceled shows. So let's talk about some shows that are not canceled, and they're not too far into their series that you can watch. And a couple of them I've already talked about, but I want to remind you, or if you're a new listener, Netflix has a series called Cuckoo. Or Cuckoo, I don't know. You have to listen to my other show. It is Cuckoo is the name of it, but it's an English show, and they do pronounce it differently. And that stars Adam Sandberg, and he plays basically a hippie that comes home to a girl's family, and they've gotten married, and it's kind of like the parents having to deal with, or really the dad having to deal with this man coming into his daughter's life. But I'll recommend Cuckoo. Another one I've talked about briefly that I really think everybody should check out is Baskets, and that's on FX. And the first season finished up not too long ago, so I'm pretty sure that you could probably go back and on demand it, or they might play reruns before Baskets season 2, which it has been picked up for. Baskets stars Zach Galifianakis, I know, and I started watching it because of the commercials, funny clips for the commercials, but I wouldn't really call it a hangover kind of comedy. It's very dark, it's very strange, and I find it very funny. But Zach Galifianakis plays Chip Baskets, and his life dream is to be a clown. And he studied in clown school in France because he wants to be a serious clown. And he comes back to the States with a woman who, really doesn't love him. And it's basically about his life wanting to be this clown and cannot. Zach Galifianakis does play 2 roles. He plays Chip Baskets and his brother Dale. So yes, the brothers' names are Chip and Dale. And the mother in the show is played by Louis Anderson, and I've talked about this before. Louis Anderson, if you don't know, was a large male comedian, probably from the 80s. And he plays Christine Baskets. And he's in drag, and boy, I mean, he does deserve, I think, some awards this award season. So I really hope to see that, because it's great acting, and he plays her so well. So Baskets, I highly recommend. Another show that you can check out, it's just finished up its first season on Netflix. I believe it's a Netflix original series, and it's called Master of None, and it stars Aziz Ansari. I think that's how you say his name, but if you don't know who he is, he played Tom on Parks and Rec. There's another Parks and Rec man, like Adam Scott. And it's basically about his life as an actor. And he's really indecisive, and he's just kind of trying to make it through life. And the show is really good. There's some shows are better than others, but I really like the characters, the side characters that are in there. His dad is funny, and they do bring a lot of cultural. I wouldn't call it awareness, but there's a lot of cultural jokes, and I can't explain. It's something you have to watch. But so Master of None. It has been renewed. I think there are a few things in the episodes that you really kind of don't expect to happen, and then that's kind of where the story picks up. And I'm not going to give away much of anything, but Master of None, I think that you should check that out. I think it's a. And the last show I'm going to talk about is a show you've probably heard of. It's an Amazon original series, and it has actually won a lot of awards. I think it cleaned up the Golden Globes, and it's called Mozart in the Jungle. I'm not even going to try to name the main characters because I can't. I just call him the conductor guy, or, like in Seinfeld where he wanted to be called Maestro. There's several maestros, but the main maestro is in there. And there's a few unexpected twists and turns that you think would happen, then you kind of think, oh, that's not going to happen, and then it does happen. So I really like Mozart in the Jungle. That's on its second season, finished up, and it is renewed for a third, of course. And again, that's an Amazon original series, so you have to have Amazon Prime for that. So those are my 30-minute quickies. I think that there's something in there for everyone. I like the darkest definitely would be Baskets, and Party Down, maybe just the humor in it is kind of inappropriate. I would say the PG-13 would be Mozart in the Jungle. It's not that bad at all. You have your plates full for summer, and I hope I've given some people some good suggestions, and let me know what you think. Okay. I'm sorry. I know you thought we were done, but in between segments, I decided to go back and just watch the trailers on YouTube. You guys have to watch Baskets. There are so many great characters. Martha alone, God, she makes it worth it. And don't even get me started. I had totally forgotten until I watched the trailer, which that's what you should do. But Costco and Arby's are honestly their own character, and I love Costco. My whole family loves Costco, so that's like a joke in and of itself, but it's so serious. I can't even explain it. But anyway, you have to watch Baskets. But you know what? If you're not too sure, do go on YouTube and look up the trailers from all of those shows. On to Schitt's Creek. Well, the good news for me is that I thought that last week there were only 2 episodes left, and I was only 1 episode away from the season finale, and that's not true. I have 2 episodes left now, so yay, I kind of get a bonus episode. Anyway, this week's episode, poor Roland Schitt. Roland is the mayor of Schitt's Creek, and of course the town is named after him. And he had a really rough go in this episode, which affected the others in the community. So the clip, or my favorite quote, isn't really a quote per se, but it kind of is part of the plot. So here is what I think was the best. Again, I don't think it's a quote. You'll see in a second, but it was funny.
Don't cry out loud. Just keep it inside. Learn how to hide your feelings. Fly high and fly.
You just can't get that song out of your head. Like, I know you want to go back and listen or listen to it on YouTube. You're going to download Melissa Manchester's Don't Cry Out Loud on iTunes. Ridiculous. So on to my favorite David exchange. David's quote is an exchange between David and Stevie and his sister Alexis, and it's really short, and the whole ending of David and Alexis, the really short, you have to listen close, but that kind of sums up their characters, especially Alexis's line, David's line at the very end. So listen closely because it really does kind of describe them in every single episode.
There's a collection of undershirts drying outside of my room. Is there any way they could be removed?
Actually, Roland is staying here for a few days. Ew.
It's disgusting.
So that really sums up David and Alexis. That's their character through the whole series, season 1 and 2. But I still love David. So I'll be interested to see if Amber, my TV twin, has anything similar, because I really thought it was hard to pick this week. So Amber messaged me last week and told me that the Eugene Levy exchange with Ronnie at the party was probably her favorite quote too. So we were definitely in sync last week. So I'm curious what she's going to say this week. Now, I watched the episodes twice to pick out my quotes or exchanges or whatever you want to call them. And I thought it was hard. I don't know why. It wasn't because there were so many different quotes. There was just not that many that kind of summed up the whole episode in general. And that's why I picked the song, because that did. And then the second time around, I noticed that exchange and Alexis's ew and David's that's disgusting. And that kind of sums up them. So yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to like the characters. They're all likable, but they're not likable. You know, those kind of shows that it's hard to like every single character. They're just all flawed, but likable, I guess. That's how you could describe them. So there's my Schitt's Creek recap and my favorite quotes and my David quote of the week. Well, that wraps it up for me, and thanks for listening to my long ramblings on my 30-minute quickies. You've got a lot to think about, a lot of options for the summer, and I'm sure I'll mention a few more in the upcoming shows. And speaking of upcoming shows, next week, Lori will be rejoining me as a guest. Don't forget, I'm on iTunes now and Twitter, and I have a Facebook page, so I hope to see you out there. You've been listening to TV with Lisa. I'm Lisa with 2 E's. Thanks for listening. Bye, guys.